part-time, entry-level jobs that our young people can work in, have that experience that gets them underway and understanding what it means to be an employee, what it means then ultimately to be a taxpayer to a limited extent, but then prepare themselves for the full-time jobs that they'll enter into.
How does that look from the state's view?
I guess I would say that one of the things that we need to do as a state is invest in higher education. I think that's really important. Our state is 36th in the country for adults with a college degree. And I think that ranking we could definitely improve, and that would also help our state have a higher per capita income. I meet a lot of young people out of U of M that actually are starting their own businesses, or by the time they're 28 have started several businesses. So I would say number one, that would be higher education, because those folks tend to get jobs. And I know that there's sometimes a mismatch, but there are actually a lot of job openings right now in the state. And if young people leave the state and go to Chicago or another vibrant city that has transit and some of the things that we don't offer in our metropolitan areas, the things that quality of life issues that they're really looking for as young people, if we provide the right kind of infrastructure long term, I believe that they'll come back and raise their families here and be back with their parents, so their grandparents will have their children come back. I think that's something that if we were doing the right things, investing in the state and taking care of our environment, protecting our water, there's huge opportunities in the state long term. So number one, I would say higher education. I would agree with Congressman Walberg about the issue around, I've talked to some people around nursing, and you have a background in hospital, so you might be able to answer these questions too, but my understanding is there are a lot of nursing positions that are open. I think we're going through a big shift in the healthcare field, and I think it's going to take some time to have that iron out, but right now there is a shift. We do need more nurses, and that is something, the older nurses, I also have run into some that are struggling, the home health care in particular. I'm concerned because I've talked to folks that talk about how we're going to end up have a lot of robotics in the nursing industry, and I think that's going to be problematic. So again, I think that we need to have higher educated young people getting a job right out of high school. That's a good paying job. It's hard to come by in the state, and so therefore I think we need to be investing in our kids by investing in higher education and making it more affordable.
Okay.
In my family, I grew up as a son of a school superintendent, and I think the mantra, which works in Washtenaw County for us, is same as around the house, was education, education, education. You know, in Washtenaw County, our unemployment is down generally about 5%. So there are opportunities out there, and I think that's because the county, as a community, stresses education. So that's kind of where my sense of priorities and what I would advise students. You know, as a teacher myself, I'm trying to help kids every day, and I have students looking for jobs, and I think last year I took 2 or 3 of them after school to job opportunities. But when you finish taking them to that job opportunity, you tell them to come back the next day in school, because we need you in school and we need you to go to college. But this is a good first step, is to get that after school job.
Well, let me just kind of ask a follow-up question that I see a little bit in here. 2 parts: universal service, good idea, bad idea, the opportunity to get young people that go to work for the government, but the military obviously satisfy its needs, but then what about letting all the other ones resettle Detroit and do things like that? I mean, when you have 47% unemployed and underemployed, and then you look at the college debt is now over 1.1 trillion. That's more than all of us got on our credit cards. What do you think, folks? Is that something that get the young people out of their own circumstance, get them involved in serving their country? That this generation here, many of them served in World War II, and they came back connected. After Vietnam, we were disconnected, and that connection's never been reestablished. What do we do for these youth? 47% is got to be troubling to everybody in this room.
I would agree that I think that certainly the opportunities out there, and there are a lot of young people that are taking advantage of. There's Teach for America, the City Year program. There's a lot of programs for young people to get involved and support their more urban for areas where they have a lot of need. Certainly, my children are all college age. Even my 25-year-old is in college right now, and my middle one is at the Naval Academy, so I do have the gamut of, some that's paid for by government, some that's paid for by our family. But at the end of the day, they're all looking for what the job, at the end of the day, they're looking at the job market. So my two boys are old enough to have a good focus on that, and they're looking at engineering where there's a lot of opportunities. So a lot of that is matching, what you're looking for, what kind of career is actually available out there. And my daughter's too young to, she's right out of high school, so not quite ready. But I certainly think that's how I got actually involved in politics, is I started as a volunteer in my community in Saline and just sort of got a little carried away, I guess.
I want to congratulate your child for his or her service to the country. Ken or Tim, do you want to jump in on this? Universal service?
I want, first and foremost, the opportunity for universal job placement. Universal opportunity to work. We ought to be encouraging service. As a former pastor myself, in my life, that's been a key component part of serving. But there's also the concept we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to carry their own weight so that they can provide more opportunity even for others who have needs. And so again, grow an economy where the jobs are robust. Encourage people by giving them a relative certainty that they do their best. As my dad used to say, every part of life is a gamble, just take out as many odds as possible. But if they do their best, there will be a place for them, ultimately a sweet spot, that they can be part of our community in providing for themselves and ultimately also able to provide something for others as well. And that's service. I think it's service to the community to be there and be working and providing something as far as giving back from your own responsibility. And again, that comes by encouraging people in various ways. We talked about education. I don't think that every person, every young